Everyone, this is Rob C. Hinds, and coming back at you with another Freebie Friday. And this is the last Freebie Friday of January. So January is now almost left us. So we're 1 month into the new year. How are you getting on with your goals? I hope everyone's getting on well with those. Well, persistence is something what people have been asking me about. And people have been saying, how do you develop persistence? How persistent do you have to be? Well, persistence it will form part of your character. And you really do need persistence in all walks of your life. If you want to become successful in the job that you're doing, in the profession that you're doing, if you've started a business and that the hardest part is at the beginning and you really want to get things going, you need to build persistence. You need to have it within your character and you need to know how to build it. Now, persistence, everybody will probably know of Napoleon Hill, Dr. Napoleon Hill. He's got an amazing book called Think and Grow Rich. And in that book, he's actually dedicated an entire chapter to persistence. It's chapter 9. I'm just going to show it to you here. He's dedicated an entire chapter to this invisible force, persistence. But I just want to read you one small paragraph, what he's put in the book. And for me, in this small paragraph, it really sums up the whole content of the chapter. Now, he says, there may be no heroic connotation to the word persistence, but the quality is to the character of man what carbon is to steel. Now, anybody who knows about the production or the manufacture of steel, you know that carbon is the constituent or the element within steel which gives it its hardness. And it has to be heated at great temperatures for it to then start to forge, to really start to maintain and get its strength. So what he's saying there is that you have to have persistence, and if you haven't got persistence, then it's just going to be like steel without having that carbon element. It's not going to have the strength, it's not going to have the staying power. Now, for you to really start to build persistence, what you need to do is you need to know what it is that you're doing. You need to have a focal point. So you need to have a definite major purpose. You need to have an objective, or you need to have an aim. And then what you need to be doing is constant spaced repetition activity, the same activity toward it. Now, as you're doing that same activity, that constant spaced repetition activity, that is then going to help you to build persistence. You are going to get a lot of negativity while you're building persistence. And that is just going to help you to forge that persistence within you. There's going to be a lot of people who probably don't believe in what it is that you're doing. There's going to be a lot of times where you're going to get things wrong. But all you need to do is review what you've done, see where you went wrong, and then just get ready to go again. But just keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. And that will then start to build that element within you, which is fundamental if you want to take yourself towards success. There's another small book that I've got, which is, I'm not quite sure whether this is available. I got this when I did my training with Bob Proctor. But this is just a small book, which is purely just the chapter 9 from Think and Grow Rich, persistence. There is nothing else in there. It's just persistence in this chapter. Now, what you can do, even if you can't get this, you can just do this with the persistence chapter in Think and Grow Rich, is just commit to reading this chapter for an entire month, every day for an entire month, 30 days. And if you can do that, that is really then going to start to instill the qualities and the elements of what it is that you need to know for you to become persistent at whatever it is that you're doing. As you start to read this, as you start to go through the 30 days, there's going to be times when you're doing an activity and you really don't feel like you can carry on anymore. And the special thing about what would happen is that you will actually start to hear the words of the chapter being replayed in your mind. Your mind will start to replay them once you start to internalize that. And as you do that, that will then help you to be able to keep and maintain the persistence of the activity of what it is that you're doing. Because without persistence, this is where many people fail. People will either hit failure or they'll hit temporary defeat. If you start to build persistence, every failure that you hit is only going to be a temporary defeat because you know that you're going to be moving on from that. It's when you hit failure and then you stop and then you quit, that is where you haven't built that element of persistence into your character, and then that's why you start to quit. Now, anybody can start to put this persistence into themselves. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter your color, your creed, your race, anything like that. Anybody can develop persistence. So all you need to do is focus on your main objective, your aim, your definite major purpose, whatever it is that you're working towards. Stay focused on that and continue with the space-timed repetitious activity. as you do that, you're then going to start to build persistence. I think Napoleon writes about persistence as well in a book called The Law of Success in 16 Steps, but it may come under the title Tolerance. But do take a look at that. But do become persistent. Do get that persistence in your artillery, just with commitment, just with dedication, and just with desire. You put that alongside those guys, and then you're gonna become unstoppable. Okay, well, like I said, this is the last Freebie Friday of January, so I'll see you again in February. But until then, keep reading, keep studying, and above all, keep growing. See you later, guys.